This is my 2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's got the Hemi. It's having cooling fan issues. It wasn't turning on high when I put the AC on, or the engine's heating up. And I changed this coolant temp sensor down in there to a Duralast Gold one. And I tried what they said. I unplugged the original one and put the Duralast, or I unplugged the original one, and the fan went on high with the engine running, but it wasn't super hot because I don't want to touch it when it's super hot. So that test might not work good, but I'll show you if your solenoid's working anyways. If it didn't go on high, I know it's a solenoid on the hydraulic fan, which is down in here. And the plug's down right there on the side. I had to unplug it to put this 4-core radiator in, take the tow hitch mounts out with tow hook mounts, tow hooks for this 4-core radiator from Fawn Sports. I guess the alloy works is the same. Well, anyways, so I tested started testing checking the fuses. They didn't look blown. Couldn't figure out what it is. I tried buying another relay. It didn't work. Then so I took the fuse out, and there's a tiny bit of oxidization on the fuse. So I changed this first 20 amp right here, and this one right here also is 50 amp FMX J case little fuse. It's 32 volt, 50 amp. Try to get it close on the screen. You want to change these fuses before you change anything, because it could just be a little bit of corrosion. That says 495, 32 volt, E2, 50 amp, little fuse, and the other corner says 8F. You want to change that 20 volt one blade fuse right there. I wasn't getting any power. You could test it from this terminal with your ohmmeter and this one, and you'll get 14, 15 volts, somewhere around there. At least 12 to 16 volts on both sides, the low side here and the high side. And then you can stick a 9 volt on your relay here and here, the ends of the 9 volt battery connectors to there, and it'll make a clicking noise when you touch the battery on it, but it's still good. Well, I checked everything, changed that fuse, and I tested the voltage on the pins, that top one and the side one there, and it started getting voltage before it didn't have any. So it's like I wasted my time changing the coolant temp sensor, even though it passed the test that it might not be good. And there's no way to test it easily when it's hot. So I pulled this fuse out, and it still wasn't working right after changing that one fuse. And it's still, I needed to get another fuse. The only place I could find them online, I tried Walmart, Napa, AutoZone. None of them have the exact J-case FMX fuse that I need in town. So it's a little tricky to get this one out. Well, we don't totally break it. It takes some needle nose to try to wiggle it out. I'm gonna buy another one. Just want to take out for this video. I guess I should have set the phone down. It's making it harder to take out here, but I'll show you the tiny bit of oxidization on here. Is what's corroding it enough to not work. So if you change those two fuses out, it might actually work without changing the engine temp coolant sensor, ECT, out, which would be that thing on the manifold I showed you earlier right there. And so you change this J case FMX 50 amp fuse out, and You change the 20 amp fuse there. Well, I'm gonna buy a new one of these, but you might trash it pulling out, so you probably want to get a new one online for you, or a parts store where you can find one that's the right one. There's some that look like it, but they got a little splitter on those blades instead of just flat that wouldn't work at Napa. And the regular FMX fuse, the blades are too close together. So at AutoZone, so I couldn't find one, so I had to order online, but there's the number off of it. And so you want to change that fuse, 20 amp first one, and that JMax fuse before you do anything, because it's probably oxidized a little, and that's why it's not working, and it's the cheaper fix to start with that and that. And if that don't work, test your relays with a 9-volt on those two side posts that are facing, that are parallel with each other, and test that top pinhole and terminal hole and slot and the bottom, or I mean the side one towards the front end of the vehicle, and I'll tell you if you're getting voltage there or not with an ohm meter. And you can test these with an ohm meter. They're if it's between 70 and 200 ohms, if you set it to 200 ohms and you test the two pins and across, there's other videos on it. If you test the two pins and it's getting between 70 and 200 ohms, it's still good. And then you can test it with the 9-volt to see if it's clicking on and off. And before you try changing the coolant temp sensor or fan or anything expensive, just check the fuses first, because I think that's what the problem was on this. I already spent 40 bucks on the coolant temp sensor and probably like a couple hours straining and changing it out, putting everything back together and pouring the coolant back in it. And before these were missing, my dad sold me this truck. This one and this one was missing. I think they were just having problems with the fuses or something before, because I got working once I changed those and the fuses the first time. But yeah, you'll want to, this rubber boot, you want to coat it with dielectric grease around it, and it'll keep it from oxidizing and having problems in the first place. But yeah, that's the video for this 2005 to 2010 Grand Cherokees with the cooling fan problems when you turn the AC on or the engine's hot and the coolant fan doesn't spin on higher. That would be a good place to start, was those two fuses. And then test with the ohm meter, the relays, and those pin towards the engine and one towards the front slots. And if you ain't getting power, it's definitely the fuses. But I would think changing the fuses out before changing any of the relays or that coolant temp sensor or any fan, hydraulic fan parts would be the smart move. Because I think on this one, it's just the dang fuses and we're oxidized enough to not work right, and I'm starting to waste money. Luckily, I took that relay back. I bought one and changed that one. I just put one in a couple years ago. About 3-4 years ago. It shouldn't be bad that quick. So I recommend trying starting with just changing the fuses, because they get oxidized a little on the electricity going through them. Like this coolant temp sensor, it just puts out a little amount of voltage, like increments. When it heats up, it's like the voltage drops in it or something. It's causes the power to change for the relays to switch over and the fan to spin on high. Pretty sure it drops or it goes up in voltage a little. I think it drops some, but it senses, the computer senses that drop, and it tells the high-speed fan to turn on when the engine's hot. And it senses a change in voltage is what I'm trying to say. And I would recommend just changing that. I would recommend changing this 20 amp fuse and this 50 amp fuse if you want to change any parts before you try doing anything else, because most likely it's oxidized a little. Like that one's like barely looks oxidized at all. It's still having a tough time after changing a bunch of parts. Still wouldn't want to work that great. So Well, we went off the internet. They're about $7 plus $7 shipping, somewhere around that. So like $12 or something off the internet, $13. But that's what I would suggest if you're having a coolant fan high-low issues and it's not going on high when the engine's hot or the AC's on, is to change those fuses first and then use the ohmmeter to test the 2 pins on the relay slots and a 9-volt to test those relays to see if they're clicking or not, and an ohmmeter to test them. And there's other videos on testing the relays. And well, that's how to troubleshoot and try to fix a coolant fan not going on high when the engine's hot or the AC's on, or you're having overheating issues, in other words, as to change those fuses first, then go from there. It'd be the cheaper route, because if you change everything else and the fuses were the problem, they're oxidized a little, then you just wasted a bunch of money. Hope this video helps. Click like if you want to. Bye.